The 2017 Honeywell Garrett Brisbane Jamboree, presented by Tuner's Edge and Link ECU, saw the event return to a two-day format as well as return to its former glory, with 200 plus entries showcasing not just the quickest cars from Australia, but from New Zealand, Japan and Puerto Rico. The entrant numbers weren't just up, the spectators were too, with big crowds out to watch some fierce racing on the prepped Willowbank track. The big news pre-event was that the Puerto Ricans were coming with four of the quickest imports on the planet. The Mech-Tech Scion and the El Humilde Corolla, both 5-second cars. And the 20B Laquito Killer and 13B Rafaelito Racing RX-8, second quickest rotary on the planet and quickest two-rotor.
Welcome to Australia, boss. How good?
Thank you very much. We're very, very honored to be here. We are happy because of our performance. We would like to thank Colin for bringing us here, and I hope that we haven't disappointed.
Team Japan returned this year with two cars. Makoto Watanabe in the 13B powered RX-7, and joining him this year was Koji Yamaguchi in the ex-HKS Supra, now sporting a 2JZ. Brent Curran joined Rod Harvey in the New Zealand contingent for 2017. Rod's recent 5.90 made him the quickest import down under and fourth quickest on the planet. He was the top contender to take on the Puerto Ricans.
What can he do? Didn't really attack the start line, but it's going to come home horsepower-wise as the smoke from the drifting drifts across. 6.05.
2017 saw the strongest factory extreme field in a while with a huge field of cars. Every category was filled to the brim and super competitive this year. The GTR war also continued, with the holy trinity of street GTRs expanded to have a fourth 7-second street car in the mix from Motorsports Mechanical. The GTR brigade struggled at this year's Brisbane Jamboree, with the current number one King 32 from Matux Racing breaking a block. Motorsport Mechanical had electrical issues, while Jun 2 and RH7 struggled to get on top of the new setups, although managed to rip out some 7-second passes.
Comes, eyes on the prize, 773.
And it's Johnny Apostolopoulos.
I tell you what,
Brisbane Jamboree wasn't just about the drag racing though, with the Sport Compact Drag Racing and Show Spectacular providing the ultimate entertainment package by having heaps to see and do off-track. The Shannon's Show and Shine had some of the best cars in Queensland on display. While Traders Alley had the latest and greatest products and merchandise on display. The Babe Comp is an institution at Jamboree, and Saturday's comp did not disappoint. The action off-track continued with the Australian Drifting Grand Prix Drifting Exhibition presented by Link ECU. If the Babe Comp wasn't enough eye candy, the Wicked Weasel Bikini Comp hit the stage on Sunday. Back on track for racing, and in Turbo Smart Street Compact, it was all Parry Georges. Took it all the way to the finals for the win in his Holden Gemini. Freight Management Australia All Motor toughened up this year with a trio of car into the low nines. Puerto Rican driver Juan Mivra was driving the Chainsaw R100 owned by Matt Rice, chasing the NA 13B world record. They qualified number 1 with a 9:03.
119 to the 60-foot. He is out of there.
Let's keep an eye on the ET. Here it comes up on the board. 9:03.
In the end, it was consistency that paid off rather than the quickest times, with Andrew Swanson and the VW Beetle taking the win in the final.
Good light for both of the drivers. Check this out, 13.20 for the rotor. Oh no, the rotor having a couple of problems there. Looks like he's missed a gear or two. Swanson, hopefully he doesn't break out at the other end of the track. Checks his lights, it's all good.
MTQ Engine Systems Street 289 saw Alex Koutradimos take the win in his Datsun.
Let it go. Yeah, that whole start line procedure. Now Royce might be just going to let the boys know. Here we go. Runs on through. 9.64 for him. He went 9.66, 9.64.
While in MTQ Engine Systems Pro 289, Mustafa Sakina qualified first with an 8.16. But it was TJ Graham that took the win in the final. Castrol Edge Modified Compact had a huge field of over 26 cars, with everything from GTRs and Silvias to Geminis, Mazdas and everything in between. Come competition time, Jay Sadek was on point both on reaction time and against his dial-in and went all the way to the finals and took the win in the RX3, doing the Godfather proud.
Oh,
Big wheel stand there for Jay Sadek, straight on the rear bumper. Brought it back down, and you know what? He's kept going all the way through to the end. 9.45 for the win, 9.44 for the win.
Watch this, folks. Up, and away, and again.
Jamboree Extreme had the usual mixed bag of crazy machines with everything from Ultra Dragsters to Turbo V8s. Ash Hamblin took the number 1 qualifying spot in his Altered with a 6.72. George took his first ever win in the R100.
Here we go, the R100's out and gone and clean green. Oh, and Smithy.
Napa Auto Superstore Modified 10.5 has evolved into an awesome category with some amazing cars. Brendan Markman in the R33 ended up qualifying in first place, while the finals was between Scott Hoffman in the Corolla up against Phil Penny in the wild 2JZ powered Honda. The Race Car Engineering 275 radial category gets split into J275 and Pro 275, with the top 8 qualifiers running a Pro tree in the latter. Tanya Thompson ended up taking the win in the J275 category.
Engineering.
Here it comes. You watch the top end from these two. Look, Tanya's not half-hearted with this thing, and she'll run it through for an 8.45 at 100.
While in Pro 275, number 1 qualifier Brett Benz went up against Danny Busbridge in the Tirana. Only 0.04 of a second separated them, but Danny took the win.
Benzie, you better bring it. You don't got enough. Have you got enough? Send it.
Oh, 7.42, 188.
McKern Pro Compact is where the quickest 4-cylinder and 2-rotor cars battle it out, and this year saw a monster field of 20 cars, spurred on by 2 international competitors. The Rafaelito Racing RX-8 is the quickest 2-rotor powered car in the world, and in qualifying, it not only took the number 1 spot, but set a new 2-rotor world record with a 6.575. A run heard all around the world.
Have a look at that. 1001 to the 60.
Oh, 657, 200 mile an hour, 657, 200. That's a world record, 13B.
That is sensational, ladies
Just
and gentlemen.
reset their own world record.
Makoto Watanabe from Japan set new PBs for the car over the weekend and made it to the finals. He went up against Kelly Betts, who had been pushing hard to run the first 6-second pass in the Datsun Ute. Would she do it in the finals?
Mikado Sana went for the wall. He's back on it. She goes through. 696!
195 mile an hour, 696!
696!
195!
Platinum Automotive Smash Repairs Pro Turbo is where the 6-cylinder and 3-rotor cars party. Dominic Rigoli took RB power to the front, qualifying first in the 300ZX with a 692 at 207.
Gone, Rigoli chasing him down. See what that RB Power 32 can do. Have a look at this,
Whoa.
692, 207 miles an hour for Rigoli.
After her crash in Sydney, Nikki Hepburn was back with a vengeance in the Toyota 86, which amazingly runs on a radial tyre. She made it to the final and took the win in Pro Turbo.
She's going to go in. We got to do it. We got to do it. I'm sorry. We got to do it. Elf goes Nikki Hepburn. She's going to win Pro Turbo. Did she get a 6? 708.
Oh, 7.
Precision Turbo Factory Extreme had the biggest and strongest field in the history of the category, with 3 5-second cars in attendance. Many Australian cars had the cobwebs blown off to come and race with the Puerto Ricans, who had 3 Factory Extreme cars. In testing, the Meptec Scion set a new PB of 583. And the El Humilde Corolla ran a PB of 594. Qualifying on Saturday saw plenty of jostling for position on the leaderboard. In the end, the El Humilde Corolla asserted its dominance, qualifying number 1 with a 6014. Made even more impressive by the fact the car is still considered a 3-quarter chassis car.
Here you go.
Oh, boy. Half track 399. Here it comes. 603, number 1.
Nothing could stop the dominance of the El Humilde Corolla from Puerto Rico, as the only car to win 3 from 3 in the Chicago shootout and go straight to the final. In fact, all of his passes were 614 or quicker, and it was the most dominating performance from any import in the world, ever. With PBs from 3 of their cars, a world record and an event win, the Puerto Ricans left a big impression not only on the crowd, but the other drivers.